You're crazy bitch, but you're so good I'm on top of it. When I dream, I'm doing you all night. Scratches all down my back to keep me right on. Hey, you're crazy bitch, but you're so good I'm on top of it. When I dream, I'm doing you all night. Scratches all down my back to keep me right on.
Hey everyone, Brendan the Blind Guy here. This one right here is coming in so hot like a smoking gun and really lit up my excitement. And look, this last year, which is surely meant for the movies or something, has been hard, yes. And look, I might be out of line here, but if you're one of those people that says the music industry will never survive and all of that junk and everything, I say fuck it. And look, sorry, but if you honestly believe that, then you must be a crazy bitch. When incredible, iconic rock legends like these guys today are still smashing out the tunes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bring it on. Stevie D from Buckcherry. How are you, mate?
I've never even heard anyone do that. That was amazing. Thank you, Brandon.
Ah, thank you.
That
I'm
was,
so
that was great.
glad.
That was if you're watching and didn't know, he recited like every song title Buckcherry has ever done. So,
Well, I'm so glad you like that, and I'm so glad I didn't stuff it up.
yeah,
Ah, that
that
is
was,
uh, that is
and
my
I love you
little
sing so.
highlight of every little interview. I love doing my intros.
Yeah, great, fantastic.
Ah, thank you.
No, you just blew me away. Favorite
Sweet.
interview, favorite interview of the week, right here.
Ah, woo, I win. Okay.
I haven't even answered any questions yet, but go ahead. Let's get started. Thank you.
Sweet. Sounds good. Okay, because exciting times. Because on June 25th, you're releasing your ninth studio hook driven riff roller coaster of rock madness. I'm just going to say Hellbound, which features a new single, So Hot, which I dropped in my intro, people.
All
So,
right.
okay, cool. So I was wondering, like, despite this past year, which has just been like, the equivalent of like shit hit the fan, um, this album actually seemed like it's really uplifting and kind of got me jiggling in my office seat. And it feels very laden with uplifting rock energy despite the darkness of the past year. So I was thinking, where were your heads at when you guys were writing this album?
Well, I think when we decided to what we were going to do for we were still on a touring cycle when the lockdown here or the quarantine happened here, and we had to switch gears. And up until then, I think a lot was happening in our personal lives that just hadn't had a way to be expressed or let go of. I think when Josh came to me in March or April or maybe even May, we decided to start writing for a new album because we knew we weren't going to go tour that last album. So we in the process it was very cathartic. It was a way to let go. I had just lost my father at that point.
Oh no.
Um, there again, I know a lot of people during 2020 were going through their own things and hard times, but this was a way to kind of release all that anxiety. The country here was headed to an election, or is really divided. There was riots had happened, racism, and tensions were high. So
Yeah.
historically, Buckcherry has been a band that has been about a good time. Really didn't have a political. It wasn't really a political fueled band, but in the music, we in live shows, we were always a place that people could come, have a good time, forget about what their day was like, and let that all go.
Yeah.
So it's a combination of all those things coming out in this album. We wrote a
Nice.
lot, so
Oh, fantastic. It's definitely yeah, it definitely shows in the album because as I said, it's quite uplifting and yeah, it
yeah.
gives me the tingles. So
Sweet. You're something else, man.
oh, thank you.
Anyway,
Okay. So I've been saying to people, and like a lot of people have been agreeing that like pre-COVID is like a whole other lifetime. It just feels like
yeah.
before 2020 was just a completely different world, which it kind of was. So
Yeah.
I was thinking, how did the lockdown and the whole COVID pandemic affect you guys personally?
Um, as a band or just as
Well, I guess both. You guys in your own personal lives and as a band.
yeah. Well, it took us off the road, and then it really. I remember in 2019, I had a lot of personal stuff going on in my life where I was really concerned with my son, and all I wanted to do was be home with him and taking care of him. Uh,
Mm,
and be careful what you wish for because the silver lining for me in 2020 was I got a chance to be with him every day and make sure he was safe, sound, and everything was cool.
yeah,
So um, I got to connect with him, and my living situation had altered, and but yeah, I got to be a full time dad, and
mm,
that's the big difference than their years previous. I
yeah,
was home a lot, so
yeah. And so how did the pandemic? So you've kind of already said that Buckcherry has always been a band where you for people to kind of let go of the daily anxiety and just have fun and leave all the shit behind kind of
yeah.
thing, which is great. But did the pandemic actually affect this album, Hellbound? Like, has anything changed musically because of the pandemic?
I not because of the pandemic, but I feel like things have shifted for us because we're older. I
Hmm.
think things have shifted for us because we've had different life experiences or more life experiences. I think we've grown as songwriters. We've grown as a unit. The landscape for us as a band has changed because members have left and new guys have come in. Sonically, we're going to sound different because there's different players.
Yeah.
Uh, but at the end of the day, it's going to still sound like Buckcherry because Josh is right out front,
Yeah.
delivering, what he does best.
Yeah. Very nice. And what you do best as well. So
Yeah.
can't leave yourself out of the glory.
Yes, it's all about Stevie D.
Yep. Well, some of those incredible hooks in the song. I'm just like, wow, you know your way around the guitar, mate.
I, I've put a lot of time into it, and I've actually I spent a lot of time learning from the best. Like Malcolm and Angus have
Wow.
been part of my musical life since day one. So if you hear any of that, that's where it's coming from.
Well, yeah, I was actually saying, well, not saying, I was thinking, like, the first few tracks of the album actually did, honestly, reminded me of AC/DC and a bit of Foo Fighters, actually.
Hmm.
So, yeah,
Wow. Yeah, I mean, there's there on this album we drew from a lot of our influences, like we do every album. But there's always going to be that. I think for Buckcherry, that ACDC influence. It's been part of kind of what drives or motivates and reacts at our shows. You know what I mean? That
oh,
four on the floor,
yeah,
130 BPM guitar riff. Gibson into a Marshall kind of sound, or Gretchen to a Marshall.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so I noticed on this album you went back to working with Marty Frederickson, who produced your fourth album, Black Butterfly, and also
Yeah.
co-wrote one of your biggest singles, which everyone should know about, Sorry.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what made you guys decide to heavily work with Marty again? Which I think was a great decision, but
I
what
think
was what was your persuasion?
Yeah, I think it was that was a no-brainer. When it came up, we had just signed with a new label, and it came up that we were going to make a record. Who do you want to work with? And the list was short, and Marty was number one.
Hmm.
And so our managers started making some calls. Marty said yes right away, and at that point we had say 20 some songs, and well maybe we were writing at home, and then we took the show on the road to Nashville and co-wrote a bunch more, and his job was to cull that into 10 songs into one cohesive, consistent record. And
Yeah,
that's what you're getting. He's intuitive. He understands who we are. He understands and plays on our strengths. So um, he was the perfect guy for this record.
definitely. As I said, it really did seem like, well, does seem like the perfect idea to have him along for the ride. So,
Yeah.
yeah, very nice. Okay, so as you said, you've got a new record deal, which I actually saw is like several new record deals around the world. So, what kind of prompted this, and how has this affected your music and career, if it has at all?
Um, well, right now I think we're getting a lot more attention than we've gotten. I mean, it's a few things I think are working here. I think the new label, New Life, we have Earache, we also have Sony and Roundhill in the States, um, and it's just the marketing plan is just I think been different than the other labels, but it's all working. I think in the first few weeks we've had more success, and the album isn't even out yet. We've
Hmm,
had more success than the last three albums. So go figure. I'm just what we're doing is as a band concentrating on making the best music that we can, and the rest of the marketing and the strategy and all of that is has been the record label and our manager. So um, I'm happy. You know,
nice,
not sure exactly what happened, but I'm happy.
cool. Well, keep doing it because it's working. As
Yeah,
as they say, if it's working, just keep doing it. So,
yeah.
cool.
Not broken, don't fix it. Right?
Yep, definitely. Okay, so a bit of a random question. So I
Yeah.
was actually talking to Josh 2 years ago, and I completely forgot to ask him, where does the name Buckcherry come from? Because it's a very interesting name. Is there a story behind it, or is it just a?
There's been two.
Yep.
Uh, the first one being there was a trans vestite, I think it would be the PC term,
Hmm.
uh, in Hollywood that used to bum cigarettes from the band, and his name was Buckcherry
Ah.
in Hollywood in the late '90s. But the real story is Keith was reading a book on Chuck Berry, and he said that Chuck said that the music industry will do anything to make a buck, and like turning your name inside out, like Buck Cherry.
Ah. Oh,
So a new name was born then.
that is really creative. Ah, well done. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Stevie, I reckon it's time we get exclusive. Just me and you. Definitely.
All right. Hit
O-
me. What do you got?
Okay. What would you say an exclusive fun fact is about yourself that fans wouldn't really know about?
Uh, well, I think a fun fact, as far as guitar playing goes, uh, through quarantine, I kind of put the old model on hold, and I started playing. I went down the rockabilly, psychobilly rabbit hole, and I started playing with a thumb pick.
Hmm.
So I'm super into like old pickers like Chet Atkins and Merle Travis right now, and
Ah.
uh, and guys like Brian Setzer who kind of uh, were the impetus to go down that path.
Ooh, very nice.
So yeah,
Like,
there's that. Fun fact.
very nice. That's very fun.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. And now for my favorite question of all. I know you know what it is, Stevie, and my fans should, well, not my fans, my listeners should know that, yep, it's what the fuck time. So apparently you've got a good what the fuck moment lurking for us, Stevie. So what is it?
Um, Back in 2000, it was on the road, and if you look up on online what we were doing in 2008,
Mm-hmm.
2008, we were slated to be direct support for this massive band, and they were we looked up to them and heroes of ours, and um, we the after party, like we would watch the shows, and that we got started getting invited to their after party, and it was there were no guys back there. It's just all women, all women, and I remember walking in, and you, I was told you have to be topless or bottomless. So there were nothing but topless and bottomless
Oh, wow.
uh, people back there, all wasted, um, and music so loud that you're like your ears hurt, and
Wow.
I just didn't know how this guy could do this every night,
Wow.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that was that I'd get back there and I'd be like, what the fuck, you'd hear about the when I was a kid there was MTV and there was all this stuff about the way rock stars carried on, and I didn't see that, like I didn't see a lot of that when we hit.
Yeah.
And when we
Well,
started touring with these guys, um, there it was.
yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you would have seen a lot of genitals that night.
Yes. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we did.
Wow. Shit. Okay, so are you actually going to drop a name of who this
I can't.
artist was?
I can't.
Oh.
Yeah, he's super cool dude, super famous. You guys will probably be able to put it together who it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay. Yep.
It was
Rightio.
it was
Well,
this guy drank copious amounts. I'm sober, and
yeah.
uh, this guy had machines of Jägermeister all over. Like this space here is. He probably would have like three machines just so everyone could get a cold Jägermeister.
Wow.
Insane. Yeah.
Oh, holy shit. Okay.
And a full-on light show in there.
Shit.
So they've
Okay.
traveled with. Anyway,
Wow.
what the fuck?
Good times. Oh, well, look, Stevie, it has been an absolute joy talking to you, and I seriously could talk all day. I really could. But
Uh,
I think we'll leave it with one more.
okay.
So, to all your adoring fans out there, what would you like to say to them?
Well, we've put in a lot of love, sweat, and tears in this new album. It's called Hellbound. It hits streets June 25th around the world. Go check it out. Our latest single is So Hot. You can check it out on YouTube.
And it
Or,
really is so hot.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this time, Brandon.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Stevie. It has been an absolute joy.
All right, man. You have a good one.
You too.